Hey, what's up? What's up? Peace, peace, peace. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Love, love, love. So, let's talk about what we're doing today, known as what we know as Easter. All right, and I'm going to compare that against John 4:24 or 23, but I believe it's John 4:24, which says we must worship God in spirit and in truth. All right, so if we're going to worship God in spirit and in truth, one, the word spirit, for John 4:24 says God is a spirit, and the word spirit means mind. It's the Hebrew word ruach. I probably explained that before in one of my other videos, but it's the word ruach, which means mind, breath, air, voice, uh, wind, things like that, right? And then the word truth means it means deed. You know, something has to be done to prove something. Something has to be proven, right? So when we worship Him in spirit and what we do, it must be what it's saying is that we must worship God according to His truthful word. Okay, that's exactly what that means. Now, is Easter is according to God's truthful word. So no, actually Easter was meant to take over Passover, and in previous days, previous years, previous time eras, Easter and Passover were celebrated differently. Okay, so this Holy Week is actually the celebration of Passover, which is when God brought the children of Israel out of slavery from Egypt, all right, through the sacrificial blood of the lamb, which they all ate. And you can read about that in Exodus 12 and 13. All right, so when we worship in spirit and in truth, we must compare the things we do according to His truthful word. All right, and then when we practice our truth, it must be proven. It must absolutely be proven by our deeds. Okay, so let's look at what you guys call as Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday. So we all know, all of us will agree, most of us will agree that Christ was in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights. All right. So if we put our hands up, and we count from Friday to Sunday, this will determine whether or not we're worshiping God in truth. All right. Because it must be proven. It must be based on reality. All right. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We only get 2 days out of that, right? We only get 2 days from Friday to Sunday, all right? 2.5 days, probably including the nights, but I'm only going based on the days right now. But and Daniel 9:27 or 9:26 and 27 says that he will cause the sacrifice to cease in the middle of the week, meaning Christ will be killed in the middle of the week, in the midst of the week. The midst of the week, carding from Sunday, is actually Wednesday. Wednesday is the middle of the week. So if we stay according to His truthful word, and as in what Daniel said was going to happen to the sacrificial lamb, which was Christ, which was going to happen to Christ, if we count from Wednesday, 3 days and 3 nights, we're going to come to the ending of Saturday, which is the ending of the Shabbat, or what some might know it as the Sabbath. All right, so we go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So back in Matthew, and I forget what chapter and verse, but in Matthew it said that He was crucified between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. Now, back in those days, 6 p.m. was the ending of the Jewish day. So He was crucified towards the ending of the day, between 3 and 6 p.m. According to their time. Now we have to compare that to our time today. All right. So when we say that, when we say we're worshiping Christ, are we worshiping God, we have to absolutely do it according to how He wants us to do it. We cannot take on our own customs and our own traditions and what we think that we want God to do. Like today, we are not celebrating what He has ordained or already has set before us to worship. So remember, Friday to Sunday, we only get 2, all right? And that's contrary to Daniel 9, 26 and 27. We get 2 days. We only get 2 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. So, but if we actually take Daniel at his word and believe what Daniel said was that the Christ was going to be worshiped in the midst of the week. The midst of the week is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Christ actually rose at the ending of the Sabbath day. And when we look at Matthew and Mark, they both say that when the ladies, when Mary and Miriam, or when they went to the grave to see if Christ was there, it wasn't even daylight outside. It was still dark. And when they went there, he was already risen. He was already risen. He was up. He was gone. All right. So when we wake up on Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning, thinking that we're worshiping Christ, well, no, because he was not risen. That's actually the worshiping of the rising of the sun on Sunday mornings. All right. Because we know that Christ rose at the ending of the Shabbat or the Sabbath. You understand that? So remember, compare it against spirit and in truth. Do your research. Do your research to know what you're celebrating. Guys, we cannot, God is going to hold you accountable for this. All right? I love you all. That's the natural order.